Is hijab oppression? Muslim kid responds. Yeah, that is the appropriate response to a social issue relating to oppression. A 6-year-old kid and Zulander.
You're a Muslim, right?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Tell me this, why do you guys oppress women by having them wear the hijab?
Give me your phone, please.
My phone, okay.
Thank you. Why are you oppressing your phone with this case?
I'm not oppressing my phone, I'm actually protecting it because it's valuable.
Aha! You see, Allah's not oppressing us to wear the hijab. He's protecting us because we're valuable.
Oh, okay, then wait, where's your hijab?
I'm only 5, silly. Everybody knows that.
Oh, okay.
May Allah bless you. Bye.
Nice argument for a 5-year-old. My sweetheart. That was a very nice argument for a 5-year-old. Now I'm not criticizing, obviously, the child. I will criticize the people who made the child say that.
His name is Bubo.
Do you understand all those clicks and wheezes?
Perfectly clear to me.
Oh, that was cute, mashallah. That was cute. Imagine getting refuted by a 5-year-old.
By your own daughter,
Allah
bro.
Akbar.
May Allah bless that.
I mean, ya Rab, I mean, yeah,
It just shows the innocence, bro.
yeah, mashallah.
There's not much else to say, bro. Like when I first got into Islam, and you know when you have that akhira for the deen, bro, when you want to defend, the deen of Allah, and people come at you with all these questions, and you're like, okay, now I gotta know the correct answers to these questions. So now I gotta do some research, I gotta do some homework. And whenever I came across people that were like, Islam oppresses women by putting them in a hijab, for a brief moment in time, I was like, does it really, bro? Because it never sat right with me, the idea of that. And the idea of women taking everything off and then being liberated. Like that idea just automatically never sat right with my fitra, bro.
2 arguments. 1, no need to investigate. 2nd, not wearing the hijab equals taking everything off. Are those true? Let's see. First of all, let's see what you didn't investigate. Why women wear the hijab in Islam? Who should we trust? A 5-year-old or your God to tell us? Who should we trust? A 5-year-old or Allah to tell us? What do you think? Let's see what Allah says.
O Prophet, tell your wives and daughters and the believing women that they should cast their outer garments over their persons when abroad. That is most convenient. That they should be known as such and not molested. And Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful.
Not molested. Not wearing the hijab, you are susceptible for molestation. This is what Allah is saying.
He's protecting us because we're valuable.
Oh, okay, then wait, where's your hijab?
I'm only 5, silly. Everybody knows that.
Oh, okay.
My sweet child, if Allah was sane, He would have said, Muslim men express character and restraint expected by any normal person and do not molest women for not wearing a garment. If instead you choose to do that, a just punishment is in order. Of course, the God who made ISIS is a sociopath and could have never said anything sane.
Yeah, 100%. Because naturally, with your natural disposition, there's kind of a given, disposition Allah created us with, right? The fitrah, essentially, right? And with this, we have this innate sense. And this is not by any means a guiding compass in life. It's not like you could just go off what you feel. Definitely not. But for men, naturally, they have this inclination to protect their women, right? And this natural ghira. But unfortunately, people, and it's funny you use the word liberation because that's what they refer to it as, but it's not liberating.
Another sunny day in Germany, where I'm walking under the sun without a hijab. That makes me feel like a second-class citizen. Like I used to feel when I was in Saudi Arabia. Wishing all women in the Muslim world to break free of that cage one day.
Is the hijab for protecting women or for protecting the piousness of Muslim men? That is the question we all need to wonder.
Huh?
What is the right answer? Rami, you scientist.
We have a case of discrimination and Islamophobia right here in the United States, David. I'm sorry, deeply sorrowful to say. And that came out of Missouri. Actually, did we discuss this last week? We might have discussed this last week, because this was a little early in the week. Did we talk about CARE suing the gun range for the hijab wearing person not allowed to shoot? I think we did.
Go ahead and run it down just in case.
Yeah, Frontier Justice, a gun store in the Kansas City area. They wouldn't let a woman wearing a hijab fire a gun. Excuse me.
I know everyone's sick.
Yep. They wouldn't let her fire a gun on their gun range because they said that her hijab would catch could possibly catch fire from some of the lead fragments and so on.
Which it can.
And that they have a ban on all headgear as a result of that. It's not just hijabs that they ban. But of course, the Council on American Islamic Relations did not believe that, and is actually claiming that their headgear ban has been selectively enforced, and that it's really just an Islamophobic exercise.
And so this is very similar to that story, and which we discussed previously, from years ago in New York, where a girl was told in New York that she couldn't ride a roller coaster wearing her headgear, because if part of it goes off and gets caught on something, it would choke or behead her. So they have a rule: no headgear on there, no hats, no scarves, nothing. You can't have anything like that. And of course, this big uproar. The place is totally Islamophobic, and that young girl, by the way, that young girl who caused that uproar, by the way, was eventually killed by her own father in an honor killing. So as much as the focus was on the danger to this girl from the rules of the amusement park interfering with her religion, when they were the ones just trying to keep her safe, turns out there was a much greater danger there, namely her father, who killed her for not being Islamic enough. You look at the headline, oh, it sounds like discrimination, and you read the details and it's like, what? They have a general rule against headgear, and you're saying, no, this safety rule, which is meant for people not catching on fire or people not getting strangled to death on a roller coaster, you're saying that those safety rules should not apply to Muslims. And it's like,
they should have a special status.
Yeah.
Above
Special.
everybody else.
We care for women's safety.
Mr. Chung, Mr. Scow, prepare to fire. To all the members of the Nobel Committee, ladies. Ready, aim, fire. Ready, begin this lecture without again expressing my deep appreciation. Half left. Peace. The Nobel Committee of the Nobel
The Associated Press reports German prosecutors said Tuesday they have charged 2 Afghan brothers with murder over the July killing of their sister, whom they allegedly wanted to punish for her Western way of life. The men, aged 26 and 22, and identified only as Syed H. and Sayed H. in line with German privacy rules,
maybe their last name is Hitler, are accused of luring their 34-year-old sister to a meeting in Berlin on July 13th, then choking and strangling her and cutting her throat. They choked her, strangled her, and cut her throat in the name of Allah. Prosecutors in the capital charged that they took a taxi to a station later that day with her body in a suitcase, then traveled to Bavaria by train and drove to a site near the elder brother's home where they buried her. So they choked her, strangled her, cut her throat, stuffed her body into a suitcase, took a train ride, and buried her in the name of Allah near the elder brother's comfortable home in Germany. The indictment states that the men wanted to punish their sister for her Western-oriented way of life, which did not correspond to their archaic ideas of honor and morals and their image of women, prosecutors said in a statement.
Wow, so many women are killed for their safety. Isn't that amazing, eh? Sometimes they are being struggled by their hijab for their safety.
The fugitive he's been looking for, Yasser Abdel Said, was found inside the home Wednesday and arrested by Irving police and the FBI. Said's son and brother were charged with harboring the 63-year-old fugitive. For 12 years, Said has been wanted for murdering his 18-year-old daughter Amina and 17-year-old daughter Sarah.
So there were some leads that were developed. A lot of those were by our partners at the FBI.
The detective says he felt the weight of the case because of the demand for justice and horrific details of the crime.
But I also felt I owed it to the officers and the detectives. They worked the case originally and have since retired. I felt a great pressure to do that for those guys and for their family and the public, because I know it's a very heartbreaking story.
The two teens were reportedly killed by their Egyptian father for embracing American culture too much. They were shot in the back of their father's taxicab outside an Irving hotel, but were able to call 911 before they died, identifying their father as their killer.
The paradox is hijab provides woman's protection but not against rapists but against Islam itself. Islam will abuse and might indeed murder women for not adhering to its absurd codes and sensitivities. Islam creates the threat and then provides the solution. Civil communities should not punish the victim to avoid the crime. Instead of subjugating life, under Islamic practice, Islam should be reformed to comply with human rights.
Why is it liberating to be less naked and more observed? Why is it not liberating to control who gets to see you? It's all about how you look at it and what lens you put on, what perspective you use.
Let's use the perspective of sanity and see the definition of liberated. Liberated, given liberty, freed, released. Released from occupation or subjugation by a foreign power. In feminist theory, not bound by traditional sexual and social roles. That is what liberated means. Okay. So you even change the meaning of words. No, hijab doesn't mean liberated.
But at the end of the day, you're still operating, like I'm operating off my religion and you're operating off of your religion, which is just secular liberalism, and your decisions are just fueled by your desires. And we'll see where my morality gets me and where your morality gets you in the end. And not me personally, but you know what I mean? Like Muslims versus non-Muslims.
Muslim apologists constantly misrepresent, stupefy, and erroneously simplify arguments. That's totally predictable because to believe in Islam, you need to be stupid. Okay, so there are people that believe in Islam that they are ignorant. But people who investigate Islam and still believe in Islam, they are stupid. That's a simple fact. So let's see the argument.
But at the end of the day, you're still operating, like I'm operating off my religion and you're operating off of your religion, which is just secular liberalism.
What if a religion of Pan, let's say, was created in Sweden, where people were forcibly made to put blood on their faces and live in barrels? Could you have said they have their religion, Swedish people have their religion of liberalism, so we either do one or the other? No, because Not forcing people to do irrational, oppressive, eccentric nonsense is not a religion, it's just the normal state of things. You can be obsessed with any nonsense you like as long as you do not impose your obsessions on other people. Muslim women are free to wear anything they like as long as it's their choice and are not being coerced to do that. Human rights is the basis where all cultures, religions, and political ideologies can coexist. Any culture, religion, or political ideology that doesn't respect human rights is illegitimate. Simple as that. Religion implies a belief in God, a belief in the supernatural, or at the very least, the word can be used loosely to refer to a dogmatic, irrational, or passionate stance on certain things. None of this definition applies to secular democracies. In the secular world, we use reason and aim well-being. All ideas are welcome except those who directly challenge basic human rights. In contrast, Islam is a dogma that demands blind faith and complete submission of the mind and will in a totalitarian way. Liberal democracy is a political system exactly because it aims at prosperous societies and to elevate the human state. Political Islam is a parasitic idea that hosts the body of humanity in use for the idea. In that sense, it's not really a political system, it's a social disease.
And your decisions are just fueled by your desires. And we'll see where my morality gets me and where your morality gets you in the end.
No, we will not see because there will never be a time where people don't respect human rights. In the same way, there will never be a time where apes dominate human beings. There will never be a time where political Islam dominates humanism. That's a simple fact you need to accept and learn to live with it.
Not me personally, but you know what I mean? Like Muslims versus non-Muslims.
And the mental waffling and gymnastics they do, bro, mentally, like, it's astounding too. But I don't, like, right now, I don't even feel like any type of ways looking at them, bro. I just feel pity. They're like, bro, if only they knew. And some of them do, but they're too arrogant to admit it. You know, it's just like I want to be free. I want to be independent. I want to be strong. It's like, bro, you could be all that. Muhammad Hijab made a video saying that hijab is the only thing that true. Like, if you really want to be feminist and you want to, have your rights and be respected, hijab is the only thing that can do that. That's what Muhammad Hijab was saying. And they don't want to do that, bro.
What you apes need to understand is what people did for freedom.
The terror and devastation faced by millions during World War II is essentially unimaginable. The deadliest and most destructive war in human history claimed between 40 and 50 million lives, displaced tens of millions of people. These are some of the most terrifying videos that were recorded during World War II.
The human rights were a reaction of what happened in World War II. If you think some apes, because my holy book said so, will make humanity relive World War II, you are deluded, my friend. Nobody cares what your holy book says. You need to realize that. Okay.
That was his daughter, right?
That was his daughter, yeah.
MashaAllah. It goes without saying, like, if a kid can't understand something, then you're overcomplicating it and you don't understand it yourself. So, like, if he could explain something to a kid who's 5 years old in such a simple way where she understands it, and it's bro, like, she's saying it and it's so, like, it's the truth, it's legit, it's so simple, it makes sense, everything checks out. Like, wallahi, that's it. It's that simple. So, like,
know. What did it become of God? Was people's heads are wrong? And a roar. Just like the fire left right through the street, dance like marionettes, swing to the symphony. You acting like a robot. It's metal brain corrode. You try to take this fall before the head explodes. No, no, just like the fighter, left right through the street. You dance like marionettes, swing to the symphony. Just like the fighter, left right through the street. Dance like the marionettes, swing to the symphony. Swing to the symphony. Rumble. What was for? I'm waiting for the heavens. A peaceful man stands tall. Oh, tall. Just like the fiber, left right through the street. Dance like marionettes, swing to the symphony. Just like the fiber, left right through the street. Dance like marionettes, swing to the symphony. Swing to the symphony of this life.